Greetings, students. This is Professor Bold, and I'm adding a video here in week 7 just to give you a little more information about how to move around for the fields of practice paper. In week 7, there is a voiced over PowerPoint that is extremely important for your fields of practice paper, and you will want to review that closely. When you get ready to think about your fields of practice paper, which you'll need to this week because the discussion board asks you to look over all of the instructions of the fields of practice paper and then let me know if you have any questions there. So if you will look over to the left on the menu, you will see fields of practice paper instructions and post here. I'm going to click there and take us to the instructions. This is also where you will post your finished product. So it says be sure to read all of the instructions in this section before beginning the paper. So there's some basic instructions here that are taken directly from the syllabus, and that's these areas here. I'm going to scroll down a little bit. And then I've given a little more detail in this next section about each area. So if you'll notice that I've covered a little more information about each area and what exactly I might want in that area. So you want to be sure you see that section as well. And then if you continue scrolling down, there is some more information here with a link right there. On the roles of social work, so you can click there, and there's an article there from Chadron State College about the roles of a social worker, and these are very important to include in your paper as well. Okay, I'm going to go back, and here are some additional comments that I have here. It would be a good idea if you would like to use the planned change process that we've discussed in the text as sort of a background for your paper. You know, what does a social worker do when they engage, assess, intervene, evaluate, or end the relationship with a client? That would be sure that you covered all of the aspects needed for the paper if you answered all of those questions. And then lastly, I have included the grading guide for the fields of practice paper. And this is a general guide that I use regarding what areas are very important. So social work roles, extremely important. Did the student follow the instructions? Very, very important. Grammar, complete sentences, those types of things. Using APA is very important. And also, are you being factual in your paper? This paper is not an opinion paper, and I do not want to know, you know, what your history with the topic is or anything like that. This is a subjective paper. Excuse me, an objective paper, not a subjective paper. Excuse me. It's not a paper about yourself. It's a paper that's based on empirical evidence after you research. So basically, you're going to research the topic that you choose. So let's go back up here to the instructions, and I'll just read that to you. Students select a field of practice. That means something like child welfare or social work in schools or social work in the military or mental health. Select one field of practice to narrow down your topic. This is not a general paper about social work. This is about a specific topic that you choose. And it should be something that you're interested in. It makes it a lot easier if it is. But you will submit an 8 to 10 page paper. And the cover page and the reference page do not count in that total number of pages. But the primary purpose of this assignment is to demonstrate that you understand what a social worker does in a specific workplace setting. So I'm going to want details about what does that social worker do when they're in a certain role. So for example, If you want to talk about the social worker as a case manager or a broker, what do they do when they're doing that? How are they engaging with the client? What types of clients do they work with? What age group? What ethnicity? What are the demographics of the client? And also, what's going on in social work in this area right now? Are there a lot of people working in that area? Are there less people? Why or why not? You discuss all of the things that you know because you have been researching this. I do not want a cut and paste from the textbook or the internet. Now, you will use outside sources, and you may need to put those in, and you'll need to cite your outside sources. But it needs to be something of interest that other people would want to read about that area of social work. So I hope that's been helpful to you. And if you have questions, be sure and email me your questions. There is a space. I'll go back over here to week 7. So you can see where it is. Back over here in week 7, your discussion board for week 7 is to ask questions about the Fields of Practice paper. And if you do not have any questions, you must put a statement there that you do not have any questions, but that you understand that you can reach out to me if you do need help. I am available over the phone or in person, or however you need to meet. Another resource that you need to be aware of is Dr. Chris Kilgore. He is our writing expert in the School of Social Work, and I have included his information on the syllabus. If you're not able to find it, you can go to the School of Social Work and you can look under staff and faculty and find Dr. Chris Kilgore, and he has all kinds of resources. He will meet with you in person, over the phone. He will look at your paper on email. So use the resources that you have and be sure and ask questions. Good luck with the assignment.